And just one for me again. And just one more for me just here. Fantastic. And just one for me again.
There are different kinds of leverage in professional sports. One is loud in public, press conferences, social media posts, hardline statements in negotiations. The other is quieter. It comes from market power that exists outside the league itself. That's where Caitlin Clark is in a unique position. While the WNBA navigates labor uncertainty and collective bargaining talks, Clark's earning profile is not tied only to her league salary. She has major endorsement partnerships, most notably with Nike, and a national profile that extends well beyond basketball. Appearances at global events, including high fashion showcases in cities like Milan, reflect that broader brand reach. That visibility sends a subtle message. Her economic value is diversified. For many veteran players, league salary, benefits, and housing provisions are central to financial stability. A delayed season or collapsed agreement would have immediate consequences. For a superstar with national sponsorships and global marketing appeal, the short-term financial pressure is far lower. That difference doesn't mean one side is right or wrong. It highlights a structural divide inside modern sports leagues. Asterisk role players depend primarily on league infrastructure. Asterisk breakout global stars often operate on a parallel commercial track. From a negotiation standpoint, that matters. Owners know that a player with independent earning power can withstand a work stoppage more easily. Union leadership knows that most members cannot. Clark's presence at international brand events during a tense labor moment isn't necessarily a calculated strike against anyone, but symbolically it reinforces a reality. Her brand is not confined to the WNBA schedule. In high-level negotiations, silence combined with financial independence can be more powerful than public rhetoric. It shifts the power dynamic, not through confrontation but through demonstrated autonomy. And that autonomy is what makes the current.
Caitlin is chilling right now, bruh. She definitely is. She do not have a care in the world, bruh, about what is going on in the WNBA.
It's important to separate dramatic framing from confirmed facts. Yes, Caitlin Clark has unusual financial independence for a WNBA player. Her endorsement portfolio is substantial. She has a major deal with Nike, national campaigns with Gatorade, and partnerships with State Farm. Her marketability clearly extends beyond her base salary. That gives her a cushion many players do not have. If there were a lockout or delayed season, she would not be relying solely on league paychecks. That's a structural reality of modern sports. A small number of stars operate as global brands, while most players depend heavily on league income and benefits. But two things can be true at once. 1. Clark's commercial power is significant and measurable. 2. The WNBA is still a collective enterprise governed by negotiated agreements. There is no public evidence that Clark is actively positioning herself against the union or the owners. Public appearances at fashion events or endorsement obligations do not automatically signal strategic labor maneuvering. High-profile athletes often have long-standing contractual commitments that continue regardless of league politics. From the owner's perspective, Clark's drawing power strengthens the league's media value and sponsorship appeal. From the union's perspective, her impact can be framed as proof that players drive revenue growth. Both sides can point to the same phenomenon and use it differently in negotiations. As for reported ultimatums, coverage from reporters like Alexa Philippou has focused on deadlines, financial frameworks, and the logistical realities of starting a season without a finalized collective bargaining agreement. That reflects standard labor negotiation mechanics more than unprecedented corporate squeezes. Hard deadlines and firm proposals are common tools in professional sports disputes. The larger truth is this. Asterisk Clark's brand is powerful. Asterisk most players are financially exposed in a work STO.
Malik, I guess you could call it a deadline of sorts. The players were told in that meeting yesterday that if a term sheet is not completed by March 10th, then the most likely outcome is that the season will be impacted.
If a term sheet is not finalized by March 10th, the season will almost certainly suffer. This is not a gentle reminder or a flexible target date. It is a firm, direct warning. The team owners have made their position clear to the players' union. If the union does not withdraw its demands for a large share of overall revenue and major jumps in the salary cap within the next 2 weeks, games will start to be canceled. Facilities will be closed. Health insurance payments will stop. The strong momentum built during the Caitlin Clark era could come to a sudden stop, and the blame, they say, will fall on the union. To understand how serious this March 10th deadline is, you have to see how it came together. This situation did not happen by chance. The owners did not suddenly notice the calendar. Over the past 2 months, they carefully set the stage for this pressure point. In late December, the players' union submitted a detailed proposal for a new collective bargaining agreement. The owners' response has left the union feeling boxed in, frustrated, and facing what they believe is an impossible financial position.
Told me today that this was not taken well by the players when they heard this, that especially after the league took 6 weeks to respond to a union proposal at the beginning of the year, it just did not go over well, and that the players see this as an attempt for the league to pressure them into taking.
The league waited 6 full weeks before replying to the union's proposal. The document was delivered in late December, and then nothing. No calls returned. No formal response. Just silence for a month and a half. This was not carelessness. It was a strategy. In negotiations, timing is power. The owners understood that the union likely wanted to stretch talks out, hoping that the risk of disrupting the Women's National Basketball Association season, especially with the excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark, would pressure ownership to give in. Instead, the owners reversed the pressure. By staying silent for 6 weeks, they burned valuable negotiating time. Then, just as preparations for the upcoming season were reaching a critical stage, they responded with a firm counteroffer and a strict March 10th deadline. Now the union feels cornered. The timeline has been squeezed into just 2 weeks. That leaves little room to craft a new proposal, rally public support, or prepare players for a long strike. The message from ownership is blunt. Accept a 15% revenue sharing cap within 14 days, or the season will begin to shut down. What makes this tactic effective is how it's framed. When the union argues that the deadline is artificial, the owners point to the practical realities of running a professional league, scheduling games, booking arenas, organizing travel, and finalizing contracts. They claim there simply isn't time to delay any further. That logistical argument is now at the center of the standoff, and it has pushed the league into one of the most serious operational crises it has faced.
Tell me the league sees this March 10th date as simply reality of this is what we need. We need this amount of time for off-season activity to get done. You have an expansion draft that still needs to be held. You have all but 2 league veterans hitting free agency, right, and you still are hoping that the season can start on time.
All right, so essentially,
there are still major steps before the season can begin. An expansion draft has to take place. Almost every veteran player is about to become an unrestricted free agent. That gives ownership a strong argument. League officials say this is not just hardball negotiating, it's basic operations. 2 new expansion teams in Toronto and Portland don't even have full rosters yet. An expansion draft can't move forward without a signed collective bargaining agreement that sets salary cap rules. At the same time, more than 80% of the league's players are technically without contracts because so many deals were timed to expire together. Free agency, the college draft, medical exams, contracts, and training camps all have to be completed before opening night. To launch the Women's National Basketball Association season on May 8th, ownership argues a deal must be signed by March 10th. Their position is simple. Without an agreement, the league can't function. Even without a formal lockout, the system would stall on its own. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to grow her personal brand internationally, appearing at high-profile events abroad while negotiations unfold. Her success has raised a bigger question about leverage. Some believe her popularity gives players added power. Others argue her individual market strength stands apart from the league's internal labor fight. So what's really happening? From a business standpoint, ownership used time as leverage. By delaying their response, they narrowed the union's options and created urgency. That can be an effective tactic in high-stakes negotiations, but it also carries risk. If both sides miscalculate, the damage could hurt everyone: players, owners, and fans. As for Clark, she has clearly expanded her profile beyond the league. However, no single player, no matter how popular, replaces the structure, funding, and platform that a professional league provides. Star power matters, but so do contracts, investors, media deals,